Have you ever had a client who doesn't know how to write a brief, sends you reference images halfway through the job, or disappears for 2 weeks and then suddenly wants everything delivered tomorrow? A lot of people watching this channel are beginners, and it's easy to see clients as this sort of scary corporate hotshot who doesn't take any shit and expects perfection. Some are like that. But as a beginner, you'll encounter a lot of clients who are new to the industry too, and they don't really know what the hell they're doing. Everybody starts somewhere. Working with amateur clients can be, let's say, challenging, and it's not just the extra time they take, it's the frustration, the confusion, low budgets, and micromanaging. I've spent over 10 years as an illustration agent working with clients of all experience levels, from huge global brands to people commissioning their very first piece of artwork for a self-published book. And while some amateurs can be a nightmare, a lot of them just don't know how the process works. So in this video, I'll walk you through how to handle amateur clients without losing your mind or your weekends. The first thing to understand is where they're coming from. Most amateur clients aren't being difficult on purpose, they just don't know what they don't know. If you've been in the industry a while, it's easy to forget how much of this process isn't common knowledge. Things like usage rights, revision limits, or even the idea of a contract might be brand new to them. And that can cause problems, not because they want to make life difficult for you, but because without that industry knowledge, they can make unrealistic assumptions, like thinking you can redo an entire illustration in a day, or that unlimited changes are included in the price. The solution is to take the lead. Don't wait for that client to mess up. Explain your process early, tell them what you need from them, what the timeline looks like, and what's included in your fee. Keep it simple, keep it clear, and don't overload them with industry jargon. You're not just making the work, you're guiding them through the process, and the smoother that journey feels for them, the easier the project will be for you. Set expectations early and repeat them if you have to. This is where a lot of projects fall apart, not because of bad clients, but because of fuzzy, unclear expectations. If you're not crystal clear on what's included, when it's due, and how feedback works, you're inviting scope creep, missed deadlines, and unnecessary stress. A simple contract or even a clear email agreement can prevent most of that. Spell out the deliverables, revision limits, deadlines, and what happens if the brief changes halfway through. And here's something worth thinking about. Don't just say it once. Confirm it after every big conversation. Be subtle about it, but some things are worth repeating. My go-to phrase is, just to confirm, followed by the situation or next step. It sounds small, but it creates a paper trail and stops things from getting complicated later. For example, just to confirm, this is the 3rd round of feedback. Or, just to confirm, I'll be providing X, Y, and Z on this date. Setting expectations isn't about being bossy, it's about making sure the project doesn't turn into a free-for-all and going off the rails. Protect your time and energy. One of the quickest ways an amateur client can burn you out is by eating up all your time and headspace. Late night emails, endless calls, vague feedback that comes in dribs and drabs, it all adds up. Let's say you're working with an independent author. They've spent 2 years of their life working on their first book. They're excited and they want everything to be perfect, but often their budget doesn't really cover perfection. You can't control how a client behaves, but you can control the boundaries that you set as a professional. Decide when and how you'll communicate, and make that part of your process clear from the start. That could be as simple as telling them what your working hours are, or that you want to make sure all the feedback is delivered in one consolidated list instead of multiple emails, calls, or, God forbid, WhatsApp messages. When it comes to feedback, guide them on what you need. Ask specific questions like, does this layout feel balanced? Do you like the colours? What do you think to the character's expression? Instead of leaving them to give you sort of random gut reactions. The more focused their feedback is, the less time you'll spend guessing what they mean. Tell them what you need to know, or give them some hints and guidelines on what you want them to comment on. You should also consider batching things where you can. If you're getting a constant stream of feedback from a client and you've got a big long list of changes that keeps growing, try and do them in batches, all in one go, rather than reacting to every tiny tweak as it lands in your inbox. That's how you'll keep your time and your sanity intact. Keep it professional, even if they don't. When you're dealing with an amateur client, there's a good chance that they'll make decisions based on emotion, vibe or gut feelings rather than thinking about the big picture. Maybe they panic halfway through, suddenly they change their mind or send you a stressed out email in the middle of the night. The worst thing you can do is match their energy. If they're panicking and you panic too, things will spiral pretty fast. Instead, you want to be the calm, collected, steady one in the room, the person who focuses on solutions, not drama. That means keeping your emails polite, factual, and to the point. Avoid long defensive explanations and frame everything in terms of next steps. Here's a way you can respond to those kinds of messages. Thanks for your feedback. Here's how we can address that within the scope we've agreed, and then you offer some ideas. It's polite, it acknowledges their point, and it gently reminds them of the boundaries that you set. Amateur clients will often take their cues from you, and if you're calm and professional, you'll make them feel more secure and at ease, and that can turn a messy project into a good working relationship. Learn to spot red flags early. This is easier said than done. I've got pretty good at spotting clients who might be a problem over the years, but it didn't happen overnight, and I still definitely get it wrong. The easiest way to handle bad clients is to avoid them in the first place, and that comes down to spotting red flags before you say yes to a project. Things like not having a clear budget or having an insanely low budget. Clients with low budgets are nearly always the ones who demand the most. A vague or constantly changing brief, reluctance to sign a contract, or unrealistic timelines for the amount of work involved. These aren't always deal breakers by themselves. Sometimes they're just signs that the client needs more guidance from you, but you need to decide what's non-negotiable for you. If you know something will drive you crazy or isn't worth the stress, it's better to walk away before you're in too deep. Some other things to look out for are if they are overly negative about past collaborators. If they say, "Our last illustrator was terrible," that might be true, but it's not professional, and it's often a sign they're going to be difficult to deal with. Asking for too much early on. Do they really need 8 to 10 sketched ideas? No. If you sense they're fishing for free work and they want to see some quick concepts before committing to anything. If they're overly focused on speed over quality and focused on getting the lowest price possible. Some projects do legitimately need to be done super quick, but a lot of the time, when you do a little bit of digging, often it's not as urgent as they make out. They just want it fast. Saying no to a bad fit might feel scary in the moment, especially if you're worried about turning down work, but in the long run, it frees you up for the clients and projects that actually help move your career forward. A bad client who isn't paying much and will stress you out is not worth it. If they're going to stress you out, but they've got loads of money, then yeah, it might be worth it. Or if they've got a low budget, but they're an absolute pleasure to work with, that might be fine too. You can decide what you want to put up with. So those are 5 ways to handle amateur clients without losing your mind. Understand where they're coming from, set expectations early, protect your time and energy, keep it professional, and learn to spot red flags before you say yes to a project. Working with amateur clients is sometimes an absolute dream. They're collaborative and generous and genuinely appreciate you, but it can often be quite frustrating too. It's good practice though, and a chance to sharpen your process, set boundaries, and build the skills that will help you handle any client, amateur or otherwise. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe. I make videos every week on the business side of freelance illustration, so you can get more clients, build a better portfolio, and make a living from your work. And if you've had your own horror story with an amateur client, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it. Here's an older video I recorded with some more red flags to look out for. See you next time.